was just cutting in your time. You don't have to ask as many questions.
That's perfect. We can do that a lot more often.
Arryn seemed to have one of his better days. How important was that in the game?
In the game, it was really important just because we had to flip the field in those situations. You know, one of the punts, I think we were at the 28 and we got all the way to the 20 right there. Arryn did a really good job against a very good unit. Houston, you know, their record probably doesn't show what they have, but that was a very, very good special teams unit. And for Arryn to get off a punt, one, it all starts with the protection. You can't have a good punt if it's blocked, obviously. So the protection gave Arryn a nice pocket. Then I can't speak enough about Zech McPhearson thus far this year. I mean, in a one-on-one, given that opportunity to beat a good player in Tremont Smith on the outside, to knife, one arm to knife, to stack, then make a play on Desmond King, who was a Pro Bowl returner with the Chargers, in an open field setting right there, make a 47-yard punt turn to a 49-yard net. That was a heck of a play out of them. So once again, Arryn, you know, we're just going to keep building and building. He's on the right trajectory, but it's all the work he does from, you know, after the game all the way up to the game, his preparation, and starts with the protection, with Rick snapping a good ball for him to come through with the ball, good foot-to-ball contact, and the Gunners go make a play.
Michael, does it seem like teams are kicking off a little shorter to you, to Britain, to kind of dare you guys to come out and try to get to the 25? And when those kicks are short, it's been kind of a struggle to get to the 25. What do you think the reasons for that might be?
Yeah, I mean, Houston, they rank number one in kickoff. They do it to everyone. It was a big task for us, and we fell short on those two returns right there. I thought the first one was blocked up well. Then we had that bad penalty right there to set up the offense. And the second one, it was just we had poor drop angles right there in terms of our return. And, you know, those guys made some big plays right there. But to previous, you know, the last, I'd say 4 to 5 games, regardless if they kick it to us or not, I think the kickoff return team has gotten a starting point past the 25-yard line. I think and it may be because of penalties at times, guys kick it out of bounds, or us getting to the 26 and then add 5 yards. But we got to keep working on the field position game for our offense and the field position game for our defense right there, because obviously, as you guys seen, that, you know, if our offense has a short field, they're going to score some points. You know, if our defense gets them with a long field, they're going to make some people get out, you know, backed up and everything. So for us in the special teams, you know, we got to keep progressing this return scheme to have our offense a shorter field. Then our coverage got to keep playing at a pretty good level in terms of creating a long field for our defense.
What's the mindset that you want to have your Gunners have to do when they're going down the field, and how does that align with the way that Zach is playing currently right now?
You know, that in terms of like the Gunners' mindset, when I first got in the league, you know, with FIP and working with the Gunners, they've almost turned to like that's like my babies right there with the Gunners in terms of their mindset. I always tell the Gunners, you know, the easiest tackle in football is a fair catch. In terms of if you're singled, you should probably take that as a sign of disrespect, because they're saying that a guy in the back pedal could stop you from getting all the way down the field. So you just got to have that chip on your shoulder. Then when there is a vice, yes, it's going to be tough sledding and everyone gets beat here and there. Everybody gets, you know, no white tees in the club gets thrown out. But I always tell them, hey, you're never beating two, you're always beating one. If you could be one guy in the vice, you should be able to stack and, you know, make a play right there. So it's all that general mindset of, hey, no one can stop me in a back pedal. I know where we're going. I know where this ball's going to go. I got to go. And Zach, you know, from his rookie year to now, has taken the mindset. And a lot of it goes to, you know, the guys around him in terms of Andre Chasseray, you know, playing, Tyler Brown, working with him. I mean, they come up every Tuesday to get, you know, extra work and extra feedback on the film. What do they see? What do we see? How do we play this? So it's all that mindset going into, hey, I can't be stopped in a one-on-one. I think Zach has taken a big leap in terms of that, and it's showing on the field.
Michael, I guess we're about halfway through the season here. There hasn't been a punt return for a touchdown from anybody, I don't think. What do you think the reason is for that?
Guys that cover really fast. Punters are really good nowadays. I mean, it's tough. I think the last year was week. Then you guys asked that same question like week 13. Then there was a punt return for a touchdown. So you guys may, you know, the broadcaster's curse right there. Somebody may have a punt return this week. But I think, you know, it all encompasses where these punters are so good in terms of the hang time, putting this directionally towards the sideline, cutting off 3/4 of the field. And you got guys 6 foot, 4'3", you know, gunners out there that could beat a vice, could beat a single and get in guys' face right there. So it's a lot of, you know, all going in together with the punter, gunners. Can we block these guys? Can we sustain blocks? Guys on the interior, linebackers now are, special team linebackers. You see 6'1", 230 that could run 4.5. Like, that's tough to do and get loose right there. But I think it's just the athletes that happen now make it a lot harder in the return game.
How much also do you think has to do with it? Like, teams seem to be going forward on fourth down a lot more, so obviously there aren't as many chances for punt returns and et cetera.
Yeah, I think it's just the ebbs and flows of the game for the most part. If you got the offenses are moving the ball and you only got plus 50 punts, it's going to be hard to get a return just because the field's so condensed right there. You see a lot of offenses could get out of a bad situation and kind of condense the field for the punt team, makes it easier for the punt team to kind of pin them inside the 20, inside the 15 right there. So, like I said, it all goes in with how the game's going. If the offenses are going, you may not have a lot of opportunities right there, and you don't want to, get off a hot hand if you're the offense. If it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3 at midfield, you're probably going to go for them for the most part. So it just goes with where you are in the situation of the game.
In that same vein, Michael, with kickoff returns, there's not a ton of explosive kickoff. The kid from Baltimore, I think, had one, but when they changed the rules a couple of years ago, it made it more difficult to block and had the walls and things like that. Have you noticed a shift league-wide, or have you looked at that? Is it just more difficult to return kicks?
I think it almost goes hand in hand with like the punt return question. These guys, it's a lot for the coverage units. They're rolling 60 yards at full speed right there. It's harder on the returns. It's all about us trying to prolong this game. I think a lot of the times with the special teams and the player safety and everything, I think it's huge. That we eliminate all this because these guys play a very dangerous sport for an entertainment, but we have to protect them as well, and I think the rules have done a good job of protecting everyone, but it's going to make it harder in the return phase in terms of all that. But we still have to get our blocks, and regardless of what the rules are and everything, to help out the team. But I do think the coverage units have a little bit more of an advantage with the change of the rules for the kickoff return and punt return. But again, the player safety is number one. We don't want guys going down there. You can see guys emotioning, rolling head starts. That causes a lot of injuries, regardless if that's head injuries, hamstrings, knee injuries. So again, just the player safety thing is a huge part of it, which we all want to strive for and keep this game going.
Couple more.
You were using Jordan Davis, I think, as kind of a blocker on the edge, big body to get around. What does his absence mean to that unit, and who do you use to replace him?
Yeah, with Jordan, you always want to extend the edge on your field goal protection just to create that pocket a little bit larger right there. But Grant, he's done it a few games. He did it in Washington earlier than he did this past game, and he's done a good job with all that and everything. So it's just more making the block point a lot harder for those corner guys to get through right there. It's just something that I've used before in San Francisco with Hightower, with DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead. When you got wings that are 6'7" and 6'8", you're going to have a pretty good success rate right there. So just using that long wingspan of Jordan, but Grant's doing a really good job getting better at it every day.
Say Cam won another game.
Just kind of got away, but I saw the highlights, the red zone, the greatest job in sports history right there, just going with the red zone. The witching hour was awesome to see Cam do a really good job with that 37-yard field goal. It's always nice to see, or always cool to see guys that you've been able to coach up and know they have some talent in this league to go out and help another team win. Luckily, it was in the AFC right there, but it was cool to see Cam do that.
I was just asking about Cam.
Yeah, good for Cam.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.